Kirk said he take the pain away. Don't wait until it's dark, do it while it's day. I'm done preaching, it's time to push the top back. 66 on point like a finger snap. Glossy paint, Judah Brown, I had to break it back. Christ died so I can live and I'ma do that. You ain't gotta flip a whip like life did. Be yourself and rejoice that Christ lives. Eat the word every day like your last meal. No condemnation when I shine, that's how they feel.
Celebrating love, in His name we trust. And we all came to get down. You can sit down if you want.
Get a feel. It's all on me. It's all on me.
We all came to get down. You can sit down if you want.
Yeah.
If you wanna, but we won't.
Duval, get ready. It's great grind. Black evolution. That's the business. Man, I keep having these crazy dreams. Lord, I'm just trying to understand them. You trying to tell me something? No premonition of my destiny. Now check the recipe. Shattered dreams, it seems it's got the best of me. I got some enemies, but what I say is blessed be. A lot of talking and stalking, but ain't no blessing me. That's why I eat the word, treasure it, it's buried deep. They misconceived if I ever let them catch me sleep. Casualties, so I walk alone. Creep, can't hear them coming, so I seek the throne. Just like Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones. But these soldiers in this valley carry steel chrome. Prone to doing wrong is what my nature say. I've been slipping and tripping is what my people say. A man falling 7 times is what the Bible say. But my 7's multiplied, I'm fearing judgment day. Heart of cold, need the one, so he gon' spew me out. I've been walking for too long for this to do me out. Man, and you know what, man? I've been having this so crazy dream, man. You know what, like Satan hoping me the whole thing back. You know what I mean? The whole plate, man. You talking about boss, but it ain't worth what God give me. It ain't worth what He done for me. I war within, transgressing while I'm fighting sin. My lust conceived, a beast, the devil live within. Born and die, digressing like so many men. His grace abounds, I pray I'm on the winning end. I had a dream that Lucifer had spoke to me. Showed me the game in the moment, told me to take a seat. Denounce your loyalty to God, you want 100 keys. Imagine Bentleys and Venice to see the jet skis. Please, knowing me, I'd be dripping with the candy paint. 30 inches on the Chevy that says you think I ain't. Southern living, dirty smoke, cause I ain't smoking plain. 45 in my waist, extended clips that same. Insane, be for nothing if you're in my lane. Bossed out, glass house, big pinky, icy ring. 7 demons for my treasons, man, I'm feeling flames. Wake up screaming out my sleep, man, it's just a dream.
What I've got to say.
It was just a dream.
I'm sure you won't be able to turn your head away. 'Cause what I'm gonna talk about, nobody wants to be without.
A nigga like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man. I be feeling like one of them ball-playing niggas, you know? Like Bird, Magic or something. Yeah, you know, a nigga got dough. A nigga could leave the league. But if I leave, the fans still gonna love me, man?
Jesus. Dope look good, the cars look good, the girls look good. Can you hear me, Lord? I feel I'm sinking fast. Please get me out of this grass. Lord, can you do it for me? Can you do it? The dope look good, the cars look good, the girls look good. Can you hear me, Lord? I feel I'm sinking fast. Please get me out of this grass. Lord, can you do it for me? I'm on the same thing, my life like a synonym. The devil blowing on his flute sweet like some cinnamon. It's called the pleasure sin, the stingers kill so many men. Psychotic episodes, they trying to give me Ritalin. Bills long, money short, I'm running out of friends. In college classes every day, but it ain't bringing ends. I see him in the dunk, glass of candy, floss and bank. Grilled up, demonizing, blowing, make us think. I'm like a horror story, please don't let me grab that Taurus. 17 in the clip, one chamber for the glory. Just make a last lick, hit the track like I was Forrest. Punching walls, knuckles bleed, can't stop these tears before. Praying hard for a while, I think he just ignores me. First 48, I create if you don't stop me, Lord. I feel another spirit, but I know that it's not yours. I got this money on my mind to live, I can't afford. Dope look good, the cars look good, the girls look good. Can you hear me, Lord? I feel I'm sinking fast. Please get me out of this grass. Lord, can you do it for me? Can you do it? The dope look good, the cars look good, the girls look good. Can you hear me, Lord? I feel I'm sinking fast. Please get me out of this grass. Lord, can you do it for me? Illegal pictures while I quote the scriptures, my mind divides a miss of my pride. It's getting lifted, forgive me. This life I'm living, see devils is walking with me. He whispers that it's my ending, it's pending. I got no feelings out. I'm in the game, crapping out and never shooting 7. If the judge sees me again, he guarantee me 7. I need this money for this rent, Lord, I hope you hear me. Cause he's sitting at my house, this cat ain't got no feelings. Make a phone call or grab it still and change it all. I've been fighting for salvation, I ain't finna fall. Stand tall in my faith, even if I fall. I know you're doing something great, even in this fall. Dope look good, the cars look good, the girls look good. Can you hear me, Lord? I feel I'm sinking fast. Please get me out of this grass. Lord, can you do it for me? Can you do it? The dope look good, the cars look good, the girls look good. Can you hear me, Lord? I feel I'm sinking fast. Please get me out of this grass. Lord, can you do it for me? Transition from the streets ain't easy, but the word of God declares, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Temptation gonna come, but God has made a way of escape. The same way you grind out there in the streets is the same way you gotta go hard in the gospel. So do it. So do it. Do it. Last edition. Close the chronicles. Give me wings. Concrete done like a weed I sprung. Never kill a man, but make them all run. Doors. Kicked in doors that live so ill-intended. Mush your face to the floor, what I said I meant it. What's yours is what's mine, what I said I meant it. I made war like Saddam, made them taste my venom. Re-up, increase your arsenal, now D-up. You can't prepare for Katrina, yeah, flee up. I got my feet up on game fakers and readers. Take a page from my book, I shook the non-believers. My poetry is history, at night we turn to creatures. You hear my echoes in the streets, you niggas just repeat us. Verses and bars, artistry, my pain and scars. Cell therapy where felons meet, it birthed my bars. Dollar bills full of blows, glazed with murderers. Dark marauders like piranhas, vicious predators.
People I haven't seen, got me on my knees, begging God like please, bless me with some wings.
You make me fly. Midnight gets dark when you fly with vultures. Eventually I would've died, they would've ate my carcass. Cannibals, if you got more, I had no morals. It got real when death hit, casket covered floral. Distorted vision, twisted face, my people looking sideways. Nod their head when they pass, they thinking it's my last day. Prepaid funeral, I'm click-clacking up the gate. Death around the corner, new direction, it was delayed. New day, new way, crossroads like Paul crossed the map with no delay. Bro connections with the world like a prepaid. I'm just a phoenix on the rise, watch the fire blaze. If you play with death, then you're bound to die. And you can never make a change if you never try. If you think they gon' love you, then you believe a lie. I know the one that loves you more, he wants to see you fly.
People I'm seeing got me on my knees, begging God like please, bless me with some wings, so that I can fly far away, way up in the sky. God made me fly, God made me fly. I wanna fly.
Won't you make me fly? Tell the demon men don't fear them. Tell the demon men don't hear them. I me say, hey, I, me say, hey, I, hey, I. Tell the demon men
Credit
don't
Karma
fear
helps
them.
members get approved for a credit card 66% with Karma Confidence Deposit. If you purchase art with
That's a friend. Queens on the rise. I'm just a black kid. Never even got a black one. And from my path, man, I've a waver. And after devil off a fever, I be say, hey, I must say, black music on replay. Asking if you care about the black lives. Sitting in the church, gangsta them on my waist, black 45. That was high. Yellow take me back upon the mark. I'm calling me forth like Lazarus. My ghetto youth like Nazarus. Can anything good come from us? Tell the demon me don't fear them. Tell the demon me don't hear them. I me say, hey, I, me say, hey, I, hey, I, I. Tell the demon me don't fear them. Tell the demon me don't hear them. I me say, hey, I, me say, hey, I, hey, I.
Just know I'm strapped up and I'm coming with it. By 40 deep, my one is 10. It got 66 in my clip, though. Fool around and get popped with it. Pump faking like you bout that. I done been there and done lived that. Gon' make me jump in that all black. And trust me, dawg, you won't that. And my big covers get real dark. Fool around where I'm from. Say Kingdom boys, we all lit. Enemies get stuck down around here. Just know that I don't see no sucker, no feel. I'm eating good on that meat, so I'm way past that milk. So tighten up, Kid Ross, I don't play around with no kids. I'm digging deep in that word, so I'm real swift with this wrist. Say tighten up, Kid Ross, I don't play around with no kids. I'm digging deep in that word, so I'm real swift with this wrist.
Tell the demon me don't fear them. Tell the demon me don't hear them. I me say, hey, I, me say, hey, I, hey, I, I. Tell the demon me don't fear them. Tell the demon me don't hear them. I me say, hey, I, me say, hey, I, hey, I, I.
Bars, a son in the gospel. Feel, Black Evolution, Diesel, the whole camp. Just when they thought I was done,
It's epic. So epic. From adolescence through misconceptions, I learned a lesson. No father present, identity. Who am I really? Get like my brother in block games, I think they love me. Buddha smoke, I Buddha choke, we really bugging. Needed money, Jamaican dude, we first fronted. Smoked the bomb like Vietnam, I think he coming. Gunning, where am I going to get this money? Street cred, my mama got, she took it from me. Now who frontin'? Hustle real for dollar bills. 16 with street skills, the streets kill. Now pay the bill, never giving game for free. Aborted dreams, tech nines and evil deeds. Hood life, I'm a star, not give us free. We started beef, just for fun, that's how it be. That's how they bleed, man down under the tree. My first case, railroad, got felonies. No military, pray for change, but God hear me. Stole the splat, hit the gas, commit the smash and grab the safe. Take the case, now let us do the math. Broken path, demons laugh, that was the life of Ham. Flipping bricks, sick clicks, forever planning hit. Somebody help me, young and black and living careless. I think I'm fearless, on the edge, now who gon' push me? Became a pusher, crack rock to work the pushers. Straight shooter, burnt lips, watch how I do her. 21 on the bricks and went through her. Will God forgive me for my part? We all sinning, we low living, so we think we all winning. And fresh linen, candy paint and rim spinning. A cream beans, black guts with white stitches. We ill kids, misled in dark trenches. We in the south, cotton picking and Willie lynching. A broken man, misconceived through black arts. A black heart, full of hate, my life hard. My mind scarred from the chains, I watch the cars. A blind man, so I pray, I see the God. My first charge, visitation, it broke my heart. My son's crying, can't touch my hazy evolve. I'm blatant, y'all, just abandoned, forsaken, y'all. Damascus Road, prison cell, just call me Paul. My darkest night, pray to God, gave me the book of life. Eat the road, nearly puke, I hear my demons fight, ripping me, trying to kill me. But I make the night, I partly pray. Other part is saying, let's get high, living truth. I survived my residue, thought I whipped the game. Turned out, I played the fool. My self-deception, time's up, I had to choose. My self-deception, time's up, I had to choose. My misconception. My misconception. And if I never make a dime, it's by grace that I shine. And if I never make a dime, apostle, it's by grace. Catch me and Carcanine with the gangster box. Fresh fade on the top, I wore the gangster locks. They was biggie in the north, the south, we carried Pac. Got pop for selling, yeah, from there I never stopped. Freight train, Amtrak, I got no brakes. Some never saw the warning signs, it was a fatal case. A Toyota on the track, there's no need to brace. Say your prayers, let it go, I hope you see his face. Displaced, I'm a boy in a man's body. Thought the chrome made me grown, I needed nobody. Shot her, in the game but no one ever shot me. Angels watching over me when I was living sloppy. Rocket, life hitting like Apollo Creed. I'm getting up at every blow cause ain't no dropping me. Evil schemes, evil deeds, I lived the evil creed. I stopped believing in my name, I was an evil seed. If I never make a dime, I'm still thankful, Lord. Not deserving to shine from what I did before. Prostrate on my face, please hear me from the floor. I'm blessing you because I breathe, there is nothing more. And if I never make a dime, I'm still thankful, Lord. Not deserving to shine from what I did before. Prostrate on my face, please hear me from the floor. I'm blessing you because I breathe, there is nothing more. Bloodline lawless, he realized he was uncivil.
All right, Pastor Fred, God's man on deck. There we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. Listen, tonight is a very special night. One thing about this church, one thing about UCI is we try to trump the norm in every way. Our job, one thing about our job as a ministry is we want to bring education in every type of way. Not just spiritual education, but we want to affect the lives of people on a daily basis. And so with that being said, this is what we're presenting to you tonight. And tonight, this is the dark side of hip-hop. Now, y'all got to get hyped for us, and I want you to tag, I want you to share with people right now. before these artists get ready to come up, because it's going to be something that you never heard before. These are up-and-coming artists that are coming out right now. And first, you're going to get ready to hear, you'll hear First Fam first coming up. And after that, you'll hear Al Harris. It'll be First Fam, it'll be Al Harris. But I want to give you a minute because I want you to click, tag, and share your nephews, your nieces, fathers, uncles, those people that deal, especially those people that have young teenagers. They have people that are influenced by the type of stuff we're going to talk about. And you already know the caveat to the conversation tonight is Talib Kweli. He is waiting. I've already had a conversation with him. You guys are in for a treat tonight, and even the way that we're going to deal with it. But I need you to click, tag, share, go on the page, share the page, let people know that Pastor Fred, God's Man on Deck, is on right now. We want you guys to hear this. It may be the last time that you hear it like this and you already know we always have something going on here at Unity Charlotte International. Clap y'all hands, Unity, again. That's the mob. It is definitely the way that we do things here. So I'm not gonna prolong the time, but I need you to get somebody. Listen. Let them know this is time. It is time because we're getting ready to do something great. And guess what? It's just the beginning of it. All right? We're getting ready to come up. Can y'all clap y'all hands? And listen, I need the energy to stay high. I need that energy to stay high. I need that energy to stay high. We definitely want to make sure that we are supporting wholeheartedly. So make sure you keep it tuned in, keep it locked in. We're getting ready for First Fam.
Let go. What's up, UCI?
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
What's up?
First Fam.
First Fam. Money Gang.
Yeah.
Duval.
Rock out.
First Fam.
Man,
Where did all the talent go?
the game is sick
And I'm looking like the antidote.
And now on the advance as I go.
I'm flow colder than the Eskimo.
Versus I'm killing if you don't like this, you can speak.
You should let them know.
But your opinion doesn't matter though.
The only thing that I can say for sure,
It's in your hating on the young kid.
my nigga, you should let it go.
I heard they looking for me.
Nigga, here I go.
From the field just to kill
Something like a criminal,
They can't believe the fact I'm here like they seen a ghost.
but I'm visible. This is not a miracle.
And with a pad and a pencil, I get the feeling like I'm chilling with my head on the pillow.
Like a nigga in the dream, I'm just stuck in the middle.
And these will be the artists, so I'm painting the picture. My
Nigga, I done touched what I never touched before. Dreamed everything I seen before. Woke up and told the clock it's my time.
Hey, first,
I say I
Touch what I never touched before.
dreamed everything I seen before. Woke up and told the clock it's my time.
check.
Jesus.
Walk
Yeah,
like we out
yeah.
there
Like,
like
huh?
time is fading, but if it's time,
Times then no time is wasted.
out of space, my mind is
Heavy and breaching containment.
Through my speakers, I just
Beats over words, no way, no.
Ain't no mind if I feel obligated.
Throw some pain at it, I gotta make it something real, something I can feel.
I wonder if it's God's gift, it's his natural skill.
The way the record's
spin, I put this game on the Broadway wheel.
Huh?
If it's condition, I can't save it unless I break it.
Reconnect the peace like the art can ski.
So embrace the damage, spin and bestow.
I'm finna beast on
That
that
beat collab and feature,
that my energy on.
masterpiece.
And put my signature on it.
Eating on your favorite artist with that.
Mac and cheese industry flow.
I beg the audience
With lyrics and quotes.
Debate sparking the line jar.
But they can't find no symmetry though.
A fisherman, I really feel like a fish on the boat.
Get on the flow.
Out this world like a fish on the boat.
Underground,
You ain't feeling me so.
I saw
See the dead, you can I swimming.
cause you reap what you sow.
Harvest guaranteed.
Be plentiful.
And flavors I produce.
Not be consumed without intention to grow.
Fruit I bear.
Meant to nourish your soul.
Without CK.
Eat all my liquor with gold.
Set you a goal.
Huh?
Looking
Huh?
to go. Trying to stay humble.
My man on open
Opening waters while standing to my face.
snap back to reality.
My men should be ashamed.
But not showing me everything that I see in myself, or maybe.
My blessed vision ain't X-ray vision.
But I still see what they can't. I know the devil's within me. We speak on a daily basis.
To know that the devil busy.
More to work,
To get man, it's work to do in my city.
but I'm a committed alone. Overcommitted, yeah.
What I never touched before.
Dream everything I seen before.
Woke up and told the clock it's
My time. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
Oh,
I said I touched what I never touched before.
dreamed everything I seen before.
Woke up and told the clock it's my time.
Yeah. Woke up like,
3 hours late, like,
huh?
Check. First fam.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I got y'all, boys. Yes, sir.
Check.
Psychopath.
And I be mother gang thugging in the meantime. Till I come up on something in the meantime. Liberation, trying to figure what you mean by when you say what you were saying about it. And I be mother gang thugging in the meantime. Till I come up on something in the meantime. Liberation, trying to figure what you mean by when you say what you were saying.
Turn up, y'all.
Far as I know, I can only speak for myself. With this voice attached, my soul in this life, but next one over. Burn the gates, whether open or close. On them boy pulling me over. Regardless the situation, I don't know nothing else and no one better. Did myself to be the answer without question or request. I'm automatic and direct, it's the truth. You gonna step for evading and look away from the threat of impact on landing. Every time I step, I go diesel on everything. Yeah, that's liberation. Educated, but who gon' tell a nigga what to think? So improve can't lead to you without no demonstration. Who won't smoke up in public like it's recreational? No delay. I heard your enemy was hesitation. Trusting people in green paper when neither can save. Free your soul, open your mind, I liberation. Fuck the law. I heard they out here on that gang. See, ain't no justice for my people. People ain't free nowadays. What's the cost? And who the hell told you it was give and take? What it's worth? I go to war about it any day. Tag and toe, snatch a chain, I call that liberation. Ain't no justice for my people. Free ain't free nowadays. What's the law? I heard they out here on that gang. Who? Take out these. I put my sanity on curfew. Say what? Wisdom is a gift, but I remember. Man, under construction and I. Engine never stop because I'm a bona fide hustler. But my system overload. And they insist on push buttons. I'm sedated day in and day out. Trying to be functional. Smoking gasoline. Sipping fire, I'm combustible. Barely heard a warning coming before my self-destruction. I was bumping, yeah, screaming, you can't tell me nothing at all. I've been corrupted for sure. It's what I feel it, trying to take control. Okay. Still my joy, wanna play with a nigga. Manipulating the system is valued, depreciated, so in the state of emergency. I ain't no organ donor. Gonna lay down and volunteer to play victim. Got plenty screws and wires loose. And I ain't trying to reconnect. Right or wrong, I fight for them both. And I die for my respect. Hero ability, depend on what the media project. But I'm wise enough to liberate myself. Hey, and I be mother gang thugging in the meantime. Till I come up on something in the meantime. Liberation, I'm trying to figure what you mean by when you say what you were saying about it. Okay then. That's liberation. You feel me? That's liberation. Okay.
Duval.
Stand up, man. Duval. Duval, now no folk.
Yes, Lord.
First fam, we in here, man.
First fam.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm feeling that. Rockin' with that.
Y'all looking beautiful out there tonight, man.
It's my favorite song.
Let's
go, man.
Get him, country.
How you feel about
First
it,
fam.
How
First
you
fam.
feeling, country? Who?
First fam.
I know I'm raw, don't need your vouch. Say you want me to win, but I here to die. Don't expect a young nigga to make it out. Found power while I was down. Persevere through that fire. Look at me now. Cleaning dirt from the crevices of my crown. Baby, cause I believe in me. Now they looking like how the he was just looking sick, now he up. They rather see me stuck. Been through real hell, wasn't no luck. Lock myself and shook back like nigga. Baby, cause I believe in me. Yeah.
First fam, money gang, huh?
Baby, cause I believe in me. Yeah.
First fam, Diesel.
Listen. See, I only need my shadow to follow me. I'm confident I can conquer the future in front of me. This life is a musical, I'm producing it lyrically. For enlightenment, entertain ain't in me. Oh no. I can tell you how I really felt for too long, and that could have killed me. Oh. Real enough to assert the flaws and keep minding my business. Chose to play humble and created the pressure. Okay. All the truth that you couldn't handle, I bear the spirit. I did. While unraveling mentally handicapping you niggas. While unraveling mentally handicapping you niggas. Hey. Oh, like you forgot who I am. How could I? Playing lost found. Body outside my own nigga. Bunky life. Hey. If I had to choose between me and you, no compromise, it's undeniable. You wish me well, but you would run me dry. Hey, no surprise, you wish me well, but you would run me dry. I know I'm raw, don't need your vows. Say you want me to win, but I hear the doubt. Don't expect a young nigga to make it out. Found power while I was down. Persevere through that fire, look at me now. Cleaning dirt from the crevices of my crown. Baby, cause I believe in me. Now they looking like how the he was just looking sick, now he up. They rather see me stuck. Been through real hell, wasn't no luck. Lock myself and shook back like nigga. Baby, cause I believe in me. Yeah.
First fam,
Baby, cause I believe in Duval. Hey.
Yeah, Duval.
What's that?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm from the gutter, so underestimate. But for the people that know me, take over, anticipated, and I ain't made it nowhere. But see, I know why they hate me, because I know where I'm going, and I could never be faded.
Yeah.
Said I was the greatest, not by status and stunt, man, I ain't flashing in front, but in my passion, I want it.
Yeah.
I seen the result, you ready for the becoming. If you ain't for me, you against, man, I'm smashing opponents. Like a tree, how I'm growing, watch me come up from nothing. The sun is shining on me, so I'm fruitful and abundant. They can't stop me when I'm going like a moving locomotive. I can only deliver. See, I'm only moving forward. Yeah, these about to get it for my fam. My niggas in Duval, Jacksonville. For my city, it's important. They ain't never seen it done like this. It's like my style is from another galaxy. Imported, they ain't crafted by the blaze of the ghetto with my struggles and displayed amongst the greatest of treasures. And crafted by the blaze of the ghetto. Yeah, y'all. Displayed amongst the greatest of treasures. I know I'm raw, don't need your vouch. Say you want me to win, but I here to die. Don't expect a young nigga to make it out. Found power while I was down. Persevere through that fire, look at me now. Clean the dirt from the crevices of my crown. Baby, cause I believe in me.
Thank y'all.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
First fam. Y'all see how they look like me, right? Listen. We're giving everybody a chance. Listen, if you're online right now, we're giving everybody a chance. We want you to tag, we want you to share, let them know this conversation is getting ready to happen with Talib Kweli. Come on, clap y'all hands. So we really excited about that. Could y'all clap y'all hands again for First Fam? And so what we wanted to do, we wanted to show a paradigm, because now First Fam, they are a secular group, but we have a gospel rapper that's getting ready to come up. So we wanted to show both paradigms. Come on, clap your hands. Tell somebody it's good music out there, it's good music over here. And so we wanted to show it was important that we did that and we showed both. And so right now, I want y'all to clap your hands and give it up for Al Harris.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So thankful, so grateful, so grateful. Real hip hop. Feed the spirit. Go by the name Al Harris. Check. Live for the moment, survive now, I'm like a skillful opponent. I'm from the corner, we grew up around that filthy aroma. I made a choice, I was guilty, Your Honor. Did a bid for 6 summers, state time, around addicts and runners. Told to flex, but I chose to be humble. I was protected by my uncle, had the guards come to check on this nephew. McCormick was my city of refuge. And guess who was holding prayer circles in rec rooms? Yours truly. I rose early, hearse a lot from the Sunnis, while dorm workers pushing their mops to watch movies. My homie 30-something, he been locked since the juvie. On this last appeal, I made a promise he'll never lose me. I'm like inspiration for them boys in the system. No lawyer fee, the public defender playing against them. They tricked him. A father, so I knew his daughter miss him. Not to mention he a new grandfather. She got an infant. When you home, days pass with the quickness. I watch the hourglass as it empties, and I'm not willing to miss it. Heaven or hell, choose wise, freedom or jail. And of course, AL, or the letters that spell. My rebels, my lyrics unique, they never fail. Yeah, half man, half amazing. Yeah, my rebels, my lyrics unique, they never fail. Half man, all for the money, that word love lose value when I coach you. If the bag truly equals success, then I'm getting closer. I just had a talk with my brother Joseph. He went and copped the Audi for the second time, cash or disclosure. We both from the bottom with bright dreams and came up from nothing, so it's natural that we were like nice things. Imperative you ball with the right team, or fall when it's wintertime. Summer, y'all lucky you might spring, that's 4 seasons. They found my mother barely breathing, left for dead, shot her 14 times. What was the reason? I couldn't believe it. So I no longer pledge allegiance to the streets. I just contact God when I got a grievance. So close to his son, I'm on fire like the Phoenix. So many ways to flip punchlines, boy, I'm a genius. Not a ball player, but yet I can guarantee that with marketing and promoting, I pack out any arena. No racket, but I serve like Serena. With a godly demeanor, music pushing our youth to embrace demons. unaware that we fighting against the unseen, motivated by one thing, to be recognized. They let the gunsling, heaven and hell, choose wise, freedom or jail. And of course, A-L, or the letters that spell L. My rebels, my lyrics unique, they never fail. Half man, half amazing. Listen. My rebels, my lyrics unique, they never fail. Half man, half amazing. Yeah. It come to a point where you gotta say something. God gave you a voice to speak. You hold power, you gotta say something. I dedicate this right here to a special lady. She couldn't be here tonight, man, but she with me. She with me.
No doubt about it, you're heaven sent. If I could trade it all, I'd choose you again. No use in trading, no use in changing. I don't wanna live my life without you.
Yeah. Never thought I'd have a love like this. Misfit, gifted, outcast, never did fit. Now I got a wife that be by the business. Cold world, hold me down when it's vicious. Big plans, I could use your assistance. Christian, what a way to prove your existence. We in a whole nother world to dimension. It's you and me against the world, go the distance. We taking flights, prepare for landing. Vegas lights, Miami sand. It's hard to take your love for granted. You acting fool about the ring. She loved hard and I'm in love with that. We had strings attached the first night. And after 5 months in our relationship, I bought the ring and made her my wife like.
No doubt about it, you're heaven sent. If I could trade it all, I'd choose you again. No use in trading, no use in changing. I don't wanna live my life without you.
Check. I went to hell and back to find your love. And now we live a life designed for us. Strive for the grand when times are rough. Purified through the flame, he shined us up. Whatever said to intervene, I bind it up. Life get busy, but girl, I grind for us. Before, I would only dream this line of work. You give me something to believe, it's like it work. I prayed for this moment, them days I was homeless. Addicted to dope, I ain't wanna live. Robbing and shooting, no sign of solution. But God had a plan for us in the end. She my best friend, she my road dog, who I call on, who my soul calls, skin so soft. God bless the day that our souls cross. Do I deserve this type of love? Like when we get dolled up on our date nights, it ain't the type to hype it up. Nah, we can write a book, just type it up. But every year I discover love I never seen before. And when it hurt, we grew through that pain. And when you're not around, that's when I need you more. I feel lost and that's the sad thing. There's
no doubt about it, you're heaven sent.
If I
could trade it all, I'd choose you.
She got that effect on me, y'all. She got that effect on me. We got that in common. Definitely. Y'all look real good out there, man. Real good. Real healthy. It's a blessing. Check me out. I went from sleeping on a bunk inside a cage to home ownership. While people was afraid of that life, I was condoning it. They hoped that I was raised with a mic, known to roam. If you got it out the mud, I slept there. I was homeless, living was only torture, and I could have done without it. But God rerouted, and now my mama the proudest. When performing at events, she be screaming the loudest. We done came a long way from duct tape on the couches. Missed most of my youth, so now I'm drinking from the fountain. You hold a scary future when drugs is a form of counseling. Okay, I get it now, you got them bouncing. I'd rather people focus on the words that I'm announcing. I discovered my worth by knowing God is my accountant. Blessing after blessing, will it stop? I'm still counting. Seeds manifest, good or bad, they still sprout. Mama, we made it out before the glass touch your mouth. It's a toast to the life, something we could only dream. I do it for them nights I had to hit my mama scream. Just for every sacrifice I ever made to be free. I wanted eternal life, God gave it to me. I received it in faith and love. I vow never to break. This struggle made me tough, my spirit won't deflate. celebrate the life that so many take for granted. The flesh gotta die before you fully understand it. When it comes to my demise and my family and a friend, like I pray my children can manage in a world that's so damaged. I'm blessed to have a strong bond with my wife's parents. No model for a father figure, I just watch Barron. My daddy never followed through, he just stopped caring. I was raised by the wolves until it changed my appearance. The devil is a thief and I was robbed by the serpent. He wanted my identity, live and in person. But everything he stands for jeopardized purpose. If praise is a weapon, I just maximize worship. It's real, no rehearsal, the spirit is universal. Comfort to the soul from everybody that hurt you. I raise a glass, the painful memories, let's keep them in the past. My only enemy is me, how could I brag? It's a toast to the light, something we could only dream. I do it for them nights I had to hear my mama scream. Just for every sacrifice I ever made to be free. I wanted eternal life, God gave it to me. I received it in faith and love. I vow never to break, the struggle made me tough. My spirit won't deflate. Superman don't always come with a cape. For that we celebrate life. Yeah. It's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing. And thank y'all for this opportunity, man. Thank you. A toast to the life, something we could only dream. I do it for the nights I had to hear my mama scream. Just for every sacrifice I ever made to be free. I wanted eternal life, God gave it to me.
Come on, y'all, give it up.
And love, I vow never to break, the struggle made me tough.
Listen.
We want you to, first of all, First Fam and Al Harris, clap your hands again. Check Facebook. They got music out. We just hearing it. Don't y'all want to hear some more of this? All right. So we're getting ready for this conversation. First of all, I want to acknowledge the 300 people that are online right now, still asking you to tag. I want you to share. We're getting ready to go into this conversation with Talib Kweli. Can you clap your hands again? We're getting ready to go. I want you, first of all, and it's just while we're getting ready for him to come, it's so important. And when what's important first is the agenda. What is our agenda? What is our purpose? Why are we doing this? The purpose and the reason that we're doing this is because we want people to be educated about what is happening in music. One thing about me and my wife, can you clap your hands for my beautiful wife, Jamila? She supports every crazy vision I have. She supports it. Thank you, baby. But the purpose and the agenda of this is because we really want people to know what's going on, especially in music. And what happened was, I think we was going through one of the stores. I don't know if it was Zoomies, I don't know if it was Spencer's. It was one of those stores, and we kept recognizing T-shirts, and we kept seeing artists, and we kept seeing these images, and we began to kind of look into it, and then we started to hear certain songs, and some of the things we'll talk about tonight. But we seen that the effects of music, like we know what it is, and like I said, a conversation to get into it, but we know what the effects are, but sometimes it goes over our head. I never forget we were traveling, and we was all in the car, and the music was going, and all of a sudden the song came on by God Bless the Dead, Phyllis Hyman. Come on, y'all can clap y'all hands for her. I know some of y'all remember. People's like, I don't know who's that. But anyway, it was a song that came on, and the atmosphere shifted, right? And I was like, whoa. And sometimes we don't know the effects of music, right? And now it's gone to a whole other level, because if you listen to that, it was just a great song that she sang, unless she was a person that was really discerning something or trying to discern something. But what we're hearing now, it's just straight out the box. It's just straight out the park, speaking what it's speaking. So tonight, we're getting ready for him to come on tonight. And as we get ready, I want you to know, and I want you to think about the seriousness of this. When we see these lyrics, when we hear these lyrics, thank you. When we hear these lyrics, what do we think about? When we hear these lyrics, do we think about the seriousness? Do we even think about that some of it may be associated with mental illness? Some of us don't know that some of these songs, because people are inspired, and in most cases, artists are eclectic, right? So there are people that are gifted, but sometimes where they're writing from a place of where they feel at the time. Most artists, when you talk and you hear artists that do speak, or hear artists that talk about certain songs, they always say, I wrote the song from the place where I was at the time, right? And some of those places where they wrote from at the time, there are places that they were dark places. So tonight we having that conversation. And while we're getting ready, I want to just talk about this artist for a minute while he's getting ready to come up, talk about Talib Kweli. He is a Brooklyn-based MC. Y'all can clap y'all hands for that. He is a Brooklyn-based MC that has earned his stripes as one of the most lyrically gifted, socially aware, politically insightful rappers to emerge in the last 20 years. He is the creator of the People's Party on YouTube. How many of y'all ever watched the People's Party on YouTube? If you haven't, I need you to go on there, subscribe to that. He prides himself on being the people's champ. Clap your hands for that. One of the reasons that I picked him because as a lyricist, he is very serious about the word, right? Because sometimes everybody is not serious about the power of the word, but he is serious about the word. Another one of the main reasons he is a respected international artist that cares about people. He cares about the state of hip hop, and he definitely cares for each person, and he's somebody that has an opinion, right? Everybody that's doing something doesn't always want to state their opinion about a thing, but this is what he's been. So again, let's clap our hands for Talib Kweli. As we're still getting ready. Also, he has a new project out right now, Gotham. You can go in, you can check that project out. He came up in one of the most influential times in hip hop for some of you. And we know we got some of the young folk in here right now, so all of you don't know, but hip hop is one of the in its creative infancy was our way. And this is another one of the reasons why we asked him to speak on this, because when hip hop came out, it was our way to voice what injustices that were happening in our neighborhoods. At the time, that's how hip hop was created. It was a way for our voices to be heard. It was a way for us to talk about what the injustices were and what we went through. It was a way for us to claim our culture. And as a people that didn't feel like our voice was being heard, hip-hop was a way for us to hear, a way for us to voice our opinion. And even with the music that you heard tonight, you can clap your hands for that. It was a way to voice an opinion of time and space and what you're thinking at the time. But years down the line, a lot of the hip-hop music, for some of us, it has lost its significance, right? Because everybody have their own type of genre of music that they like. They have types of artists that they like. And because of that, this is the reason why we wanted to speak on that. One of the first things coming up in the epicenter of hip hop in Brooklyn, that's another thing that makes him so significant, and we're gonna have him to elaborate on that when he comes up. He can talk about how it was, what the spiritual, because whether you know it or not, music has a spiritual base. One thing about music that people don't understand is that music is the only spiritual element that doesn't need your permission to come in. Did y'all catch that? Music is the only element. Like when you listen to music, music doesn't need your permission to tell you how to feel. Music just comes and tells you how to feel, right? And so that was one of the things that we agreed on, is that music does have a spiritual element. Now, that's not to say that we're saying that everything should be gospel. I think you can love music, but you need to know what you're listening to in the music, right? That's the importance. Sometimes as the gospel community, we want to push and we want to promote that gospel is the only music you should listen to. All right, but now we're getting ready. I want you to get ready. I want you to clap your hands as we now get ready for the conversation with Talib Kweli.
What's up? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? Is that Fred right there? Is that Pastor Fred right there?
Yeah, this me.
Okay. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. They're trying to get you up on the screen. Clap your hands again for Talib Kweli as they get it straight on our side. There we go.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for having me. It's my honor and my pleasure to be able to join this conversation.
Yeah. First of all, man, I just want to give honor. I am a hip hop fan. We have so many fans that are here right now. We want to clap the hands. We want to clap the hands.
No doubt.
Yeah, we give homage, brother.
I love it.
Yeah, we give homage to you. Seriously.
Yes.
You hear him chanting the song out there. Hey, so man, he's in Europe right now. First of all, I want to thank you for accepting this. You know,
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for accepting this, man. And you know, because many people don't know how to have a conversation with the church, right? But I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being that type of person to have an intellectual conversation about it. So what I wanted to start out because you were there when it all started. Like when hip hop started, and I think it's one of the things that I wanted to ask you about at first. You were there at the epicenter when it all started. Can I ask you, when you first heard it, what was that spiritual experience like? What did you feel when you first heard it? I know what I felt when I first heard DMC.
Yeah, well, for me, I got into hip hop late, I would say, for someone who grew up in New York City. I was more into my father's record collection. He was a DJ, and he had all these records that lined the walls of the crib. And hip hop, I got into hip hop in junior high school because in the early 90s or late 80s when I was in junior high school, hip hop was just the king of the streets in New York City. And so it was more about pressure from my peer group. But then I grew to love the musicality of it. And immediately I was able to recognize the samples because that's when the sample era was coming in heavy. So because I understood it and I was familiar with the records of my father's collection, that endeared me to hip hop in a very, very strong spiritual way. I felt at home when I heard hip hop because, you know, for me, you know, my spirituality is the way I see spirituality and the way I practice it and invest in it is based on my parents, my relationship with my parents. So hearing those grooves and those hip hop records and it bringing me back to certain times of my childhood, making that connection. And I feel like with music in general, right? I feel like that's the spirituality of music, is that the music that you grow up on and the music that is particularly that you grow up on, that's nostalgic for you and that you hear when you're in high school and college, nothing is better than that music. Yeah. It doesn't matter what age you are. You argue with somebody to the death. Be like, nah, I don't like none of that new stuff. Like, nah, it don't sound like how I used to. And every generation feel like that about their music. Yeah. And I feel like music is a natural resource, particularly for marginalized people, particularly for people of color. Yeah, man, I feel like when I go in the studio, I feel like that's going to church for me.
Right. Listen, so I want to, what about, if I ask you, did you start out as a conscious rapper, or did you kind of just merge into it? Was it a decision about it? And how do you define a conscious rapper? How would you define that?
Conscious rapper is somebody who's, I mean, the word consciousness means aware, right? You have to be aware of your surroundings, aware of your situations. Even rappers like Jadakiss, Redman, people like that, Biggie Smalls, they have delivered conscious music because they made music that let us know that they were aware of their surroundings. And conscious is not always peaceful. Okay. And conscious is not always, I feel like consciousness is always positive, but it's not always peaceful. It's not always nice. It's not always, sanitary. It's not always these things. Conscious could be ugly because the world is ugly. Right. But for me personally, you know, my music comes out of my lifestyle and comes out of when I first came into listening to hip hop, the best MCs in the world were KRS-One and Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and people like that. And you had to be conscious to be the best. So I'm still from the era where if you don't got no lyrics that's touching on what's going on in the community, if you ain't got no lyrics that's touching on social justice, it's hard. You can't be the nicest. It's impossible. And I feel like Biggie and Nas sort of changed that. When Biggie and Nas came out, they made it into the more tough guy era, the more street era. But even as we see with Nas, he grew into what we consider a conscious MC today. Yeah. He started out with a degree of consciousness, but I was saying to you on the phone earlier, he was still waving automatic guns and nuns back then. Now he's more reflective, he's more conscious. And had Biggie survived the industry and survived what happened to him, I feel like he would have gone in a conscious direction too.
I believe that too. I believe that too. Yeah, you clap your hands for that. Talib, how would you describe the climate of hip hop right now? If you felt like it had any type of spiritual element, right? How would you describe that?
Well, I'm older now, and I'm not as in touch as I used to be. There was a time when I used to know every single lyric to every single song that was out. I don't know the names of the hottest artists. I'm hearing that Gunna got the #1 album in the country. I don't know any of Gunna's music. I made me want to check it out. You know, so I'm like, okay, they rock with Gunna, okay. But what I will say is, what I appreciate about the younger generation is, I'm a lyricist, and I come from the school of like really being detailed and conscientious and focused on the lyrical content and the message in the music. And I feel like that's important. I feel like today's generation misses that. One thing that they got right, and one thing that us older artists could learn from, or us more lyrical artists could learn from, is the idea of vibes and the idea of just vibing with the track and being in a space where the music takes over your spirit, is what we were talking about, right? And your soul, and you just say what the beat makes you feel. Now, unfortunately, we are marginalized people that come from marginalized communities, and people have hard lives. And like David Banner said when he went to speak to Congress about hip hop lyrics, if you want us to rap about rose gardens, you got to come to the hood and plant some roses in the hood. And so when I hear people just vibing on the track and turn up and all whatever they be doing, and some of those lyrics be violent, and some of those lyrics be misogynistic, and some of those lyrics be gangster, and some of those lyrics be toxic, you know, and a lot of the music we hear on the radio be all of that at once. I tried my best to not place blame on the artists who come from that environment for just painting a picture of the environment he come from. And I try to encourage artists to do that, because as we see from Nas and other artists, I mean, Too Short is damn near a feminist now. You know what I'm saying? As we see, as artists grow older, if they have the opportunity to grow older, they grow in the mentality and the mind state. I have a lyric on my new song I'm working with where I'm like, everybody over 40 turn conscious, every single rapper.
Should be. Come on, clap.
Every single rapper over 40 turned conscious. Name him. If there's a rapper over 40 and he been doing it, he was a street rapper.
Yeah.
Listen to his music today.
Yeah, it changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes. Well, you know, like I said, I appreciate you having this conversation with us. And so as we look at what we call the dark side of hip hop, and like we talked about today, first of all, we have to take accountability to our part, right? Because we came up in the era. I remember when I first heard NWA and lost my mind. Now, we already know that the lyrics for NWA were terrible, right? It sounds way different.
In terms of complicit, polite society, yes, you should not be saying those things.
So, before we talk about some of these lyrics, because again, when in coming on, what we want to do is kind of just educate, talk about it in the way, and I'm glad the way we had our conversation today, so they can kind of hear it, is to talk about the point that we have to take accountability, that some of this we perpetuated, right?
Mhm.
Like some of this, because what we're hearing some music that does come from a spirit of rebellion, right? Like we're gonna talk about. So we want to take accountability because we did listen to quote unquote gangster rap and all of that.
Yeah.
But what I wanted you, when we talked this morning, we were talking about a particular artist, and that when they were young, while they was doing music, they was messing with Ouija boards and witchcraft, and they just kind of thought it was normal. And you was saying that some of that just attributed it to them being young. Elaborate on that for me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I mean, like we were saying on the phone earlier, brother, words have power. And whether or not you are actually invested in some words you're saying, those words will come back to you at some point. And so I was talking about Crazy Bone, and this is public information. Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was reading an interview with Crazy Bone because I'm studying him because I got a podcast and I'm going to interview him for my podcast. And he was talking about how on the first album, they rapped about Ouija boards and trying to get in touch with the devil and all types of craziness. And then as they grew as artists, the label started investing in those type of lyrics and started investing in that image for the group. And so there would be symbols and artwork that would represent people who were on that, and that would be placed in the Bone Thugs and Harmony music. And what Crazy Bone was saying was that when he was doing that as a kid, from the hood, spent a lot of time in jail, in and out of jail, didn't have a lot of family structure in his home. When he was doing that, he didn't understand what he was saying. He didn't understand the power of his words. And he says sometimes he listens to some of that old music and he cringes. And it's like I was saying, as you get older, you understand more, you have more wisdom. But a lot of these, and that speaks to this, because I'm glad we're having this conversation, because there's a lot of talk about art and satanic imagery and the Illuminati, and Beyonce wore this symbol and Jay-Z said this lyric, that, these young people from the hood that grew up in marginalized communities that didn't have access to a lot of resources and information. And when they make it and we attribute their success to the devil, or we attribute it to Illuminati, that's almost enabling, not almost, I'm going to go ahead and say it, that's enabling white supremacy. Because what we're saying is that these black people are not powerful enough to make it with their talent and will and hard work. And I'm saying this as an artist. Of course, I'm biased. I got a dog in this fight. And like I told you on the phone earlier, artists are my tribe, right? So I'm always going to stick up for artists, because I that's what I do, and that's what my foundation is built upon. But these people who have these symbols and this imagery, and obviously Jay-Z and Beyonce aren't saying things like we gonna get on a Ouija board and worship the devil, like how Bone Thugs and them was saying. But people, I think people lump it all together in one and don't understand that all of that is divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that is divide and conquer. The idea that you have to join some sort of agenda or join some sort of devil worship, or you do all that things that people be saying about Hollywood. And I think that sometimes, and please, I don't want to, y'all have invited me into y'all space, so I'm not trying to like criticize religious people. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes from religious, when people get caught up in not understanding.
We're not religious.
In my opinion. What'd you say?
I said we're not religious.
Well, good. I'm glad you said that.
You free,
so,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? You talked about the spiritual. Like, spiritual people don't do what I'm talking about. But sometimes with that religious dogmatic stuff,
yeah,
people get caught up in the dogmatic language and caught up in the judgment of it all. And it becomes difficult conversations.
Right. And I like the way you spoke about it. That kind of your viewpoint as an artist. You also kind of look at what's perpetuated or what's driven by the industry. You know what I'm saying? And then how we should handle it as a community.
Mm-hmm.
What you think? I mean, what power do we have? I know you spoke about it, but
yeah. Well, I think that we have to be. Look, people challenge me to be a conscious artist because I presented music that felt like conscious music, right? And so I get held to a very high standard, brother. Like, I can't be out here eating pork, dating white women, none of that. I can't be out here, like, doing none of that. Like, the community gonna come after me. Like, they'll let another rapper do that, but I can't get caught slipping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if the community is gonna challenge me to that standard, right? I accept that challenge. Challenge accepted.
Right.
And I'm gonna try to rise to that challenge. But then I challenge the community right back. And I challenge the community that asked this of me and other rappers. The first thing when a tragedy happens, when a Breonna Taylor happens, when a George Floyd happens, why don't the rappers say something? That's the first thing people say. Why don't the program directors say something?
Right.
Why don't the DJs say something? Why don't the pastors say something? Why don't the teachers say something? Why don't the sanitation work say something? Why does it all fall on the rappers? So I challenge the community to be conscious consumers. And to be conscious about what you consume, and conscious about what you buy, what you take in, and what you choose to listen to, and to curate your own playlist. Don't just turn on the TV and turn on the radio and let the advertisers tell you what and market to you what they think is hot. Like, we have more of opportunity ever in history now. And I'm not even a fan of streaming services, but 90% of people who discover music discover them on streaming services, right? So it doesn't matter whether I'm a fan of them or not. That's where the people are at listening to music. Well, if you're on a streaming service and you're paying $10 a year to get all the music on earth, then there's no excuse for you to not be a conscious consumer of music. You have no excuse to complain about what they play on the radio, to complain about what they play in the clubs, to say there's no good hip hop, there's no conscious hip hop, because there is. You're just choosing not to listen to it. And you're choosing not to listen to it for the same reason a lot of people choose to make decadent, empty, vacuous music, because it's sexy, because it feels good.
Right.
And we are drawn to that. And it's a challenge to be a conscious artist. What I do is challenge it. One of the hardest things in the world to do is to be conscious and spiritual and still make a jam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I make jams, and I feel like y'all wouldn't even have me on this call unless I wasn't. I feel like I'm blessed and highly favored to be able to make jams, but still make them conscious. But it's very hard to do. I do not have a lot of hit records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And please forgive my language, but I see something online where they be asked a question like, "What kind of music scare away the hoes?" And they'd be like, "Talib Kweli music scare away the hoes, J. Cole and them Kendrick Lamar." And I'm like, listen, first of all, if we scaring away the hoes, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you hanging out with some hoes anyway? I don't mean to slut shame, and I don't shame sex workers and none of that. I'm not on that. Like people got to do what they got to do, and I don't shame nobody for what they got to do. But if you are the type of person that feels like you need to refer to women as hoes, or you're the type of person that feels like you need to be around hoes all the time, and this is not to shame hoes, but if you that type of person, then I'm not making music for you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, we appreciate you keeping it 100. Come on, clap your hand. You know, one of the things that we talked about and that you really enlightened me in the conversation is that some of these artists that we're hearing deal with mental illness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And especially, and when you said it, it really rung a bell because, especially in the black community, because we deal with a lot of hopelessness. Even going to back what you were saying about, Busy Bone, we deal with a lot of hopelessness. We deal with, a lot of growing up in broken situations. And for some people, they get a little desperate. One of the artists, the lyrics that I told you about earlier was Lil Uzi. I don't know if this is Zo or XO. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but the
song XO.
What XO?
I think that's the name of the song.
XO 2, yeah, XO 2 of Life or something like that.
Yeah.
Lyrics of it was.
Wait, you breaking up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, antenna. Okay,
there
good.
You go.
But the lyrics of it was crazy. So and you knew it. Like, so you heard the hook before. Did you see the video?
I've never seen that video.
Okay. So it was this, and I'm gonna read these lyrics real quick.
again, right? Just for the audience. And the hook of the song says, I don't really care if you cry. On the real, you should have never lied. Should have saw the way she looked in my eyes. She said, baby, I'm not afraid to die. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. We already know that this was one of his great hits, but even one of the things after hearing the song, this doesn't really put it to it like the imagery does. When you look at the video, I mean, I had to go and like kind of walk away for a minute to bring my mind back in from what I just saw. How did you feel when you heard that?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I can't speak to the video because I haven't seen the video, and visuals are very strong in terms of the psyche and how it affects you. But as far as the song, like you said, our community deals with PTSD and deals with all types of mental illness that I can't even diagnose because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a therapist. I'm not a professional. But what I do know is that as a community, we are just now in 2022, even being able to be brave enough and not brave enough, excuse me, that's the wrong word, pardon me, not brave enough, to be informed enough to have these conversations and to be able, especially Black men, right? Especially young Black men who suffer from it in very unique ways that have to be dressed in a unique way. And we should be encouraging young Black people, regardless of gender, or regardless of age, or whatever. We should be encouraging marginalized people, people of color, poor people, to speak up and speak out about mental health issues and to seek help, because that can empower us just as a community. So when I hear Lil Uzi Vert, who's a young artist, he started as a very young man, do a song where he says, "All my friends are," that's the one, "All my friends are dead"?
Yeah.
To me, one, that sounds accurate. So I feel like the young man's telling the truth. And additionally, it sounds like a cry for help. And it sounds like he's being brave and he's being strong and he's being courageous in his art to be able to say something that a lot of people relate to. Now, the problem comes when we have people who are supposed to know better and do better, and people who are responsible in the industry, in mental health, who don't help to place that type of art in its proper context.
Yeah.
So when we hear that Lil Uzi Vert song on the radio, however many times they play it, amongst all the other toxic nonsense that we hear on the radio, and there's no type of discussion around mental health when they play the song, and no type of context given, and it's just treated as a form of entertainment, I don't blame the artist for doing his best to express himself. I'd rather he make that song and kill himself. I'd rather he make that song than harm others. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather he go in the studio and emote and express himself. To me, that's divine. When artists, that's what it's all about. That's what the power art is. So I applaud the young man for making a song like that. But I do understand that with songs like that and songs that are a lot more malintended and a lot more focused on, I'm just going to be super misogynistic and gangster and violent because, one, I feel like that's what the hood like, and two, I feel like that's what capitalism likes, so I'm going to make some money. I feel like Lil Uzi Vert is more of an intentional, deliberate, passionate, even spiritual artist.
Yeah.
I just feel like he doesn't have the information or language to be able to say it in a way that might make you personally feel uplifted. Because as you said, when you watched the video, you recoiled. You was like, nah, that means that ain't for you.
Yeah.
Somebody related to that song. I heard that and was like, yo, someone feels just like how I feel. Oh my God, I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we need to encourage artists to express like that more often. But if we're talking about being responsible to the community and making sure that, look, everything ain't for everybody. That's why we have ratings on movies. You know what I'm saying? And not to take a child to an R-rated or X-rated movie. And so what happens in the community with the radio is, sure, we have to clean at it, but the themes and everything still gets through. So we have R-rated, X-rated content coming through for free on the public radio that we pay taxes for, and our children are hearing this endless stream of these, essentially what it boils down to, capitalist messaging.
Wow.
Because the people who play that music and make sure that music is programmed for our children, the higher ups at these companies, they don't want their kids listening to that. So it's not about that. They understand that some of that stuff heard too much is toxic. They just understand how much money you can make from sex and greed and violence.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just the American way.
Yeah. So they capitalize. A lot of it is that they still capitalize off of our PTSD in some ways.
Right. Even our death.
Yeah.
Like even a song about our death.
Yeah.
They find a way to capitalize
and it's a lot of people that still suffer with these things. You know, when you come up in neighborhoods like that and come up in situations like that, it's people today that still don't jump off a gunshot. You know, it's still people don't move like that because they came up that way. One of the artists, another artist that everybody recognized, Nas X. I looked at I watched one of his interviews, and
we gonna talk about Nas X.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
we ain't
cool,
gonna go, but we ain't gonna go hard. But one of the you know, I seen his interview though, right? You know that I think everybody, if everybody heard the song "Call Me," you know, call my name, "Call Me by Your Name," but it's the video.
I don't know that one.
What'd you say?
I don't know that one.
Okay, but it's a video. Well, I ain't gonna encourage you to see it, but I just want to, this point. At this point, one of the interviews that he had, one of the name of the video is "Call Me by Your Name," but this was got me. On his interview, he talked about how he was hurt by the church, right? Mm-hmm. He talked about how he was hurt by the church and how he felt like he was victimized by it, and he made the music to go after or to rebel against or be defiant against what hurt him. And I think when you first see that, when I first saw the video without seeing the interview, I had different thoughts about it, right? Because the thoughts that I had before seeing the interview is all I saw as somebody was low. This dude is just going crazy. But after I saw the video, I was like, oh, he's really crying out for help.
Is this the video where he like giving the devil a lap dance?
You got it.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this video. Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is a very interesting artist. I'm a hip hop like connoisseur. So the thing that upsets me the most about Lil Nas X is that he calls himself Lil Nas X. Like, I don't want him to have anything to do with Nas. And it has nothing to do with him being gay. It's nothing to do with the devil and none of that. None of that. I just don't like him calling himself Nas. Now, to be fair, Nas himself has no issue with this. Nas is very gracious and gave the young man his blessing. So who am I to tell Nas or to say, you know what I'm saying? But I still feel how I feel.
Me too.
I'm gonna say it for Nas. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that this young man, I think he's very bright. I think he's talented. I wasn't a fan of his music. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I thought I wasn't a fan of his music. Because I didn't like Old Town Road and I didn't like that other one he was just talking about. But I was in an Uber, and you know how you could plug your phone up to the USB or whatever, to the Bluetooth. You plug your phone up to the Bluetooth, you can hear your phone while you in the Uber. The Uber driver was like, "You want to hear you?" And I put it on, right? And there was a song that came on. I had Shazammed the song. It was like, damn, this song is dope. I Shazammed it. And you know, Shazam, when you pull it up, it pull up the video. So, and the video, my phone was connected to the Uber Dash where you had the video. So the video was the video he did in prison with all the gay dudes dancing naked in prison. And that's what was on the Uber. And the Uber driver looked back at me. I was like, yo, he thought that I was watching this Lil Nas X video. And I was like, damn, I got caught out there because I really like this song. Damn. But it's a song he got with the white boy, Jack Harlow. So I will say that the young man is talented, but if is a novelty artist. He made Old Town Road knowing that he was playing with different tropes and stereotypes, and he's kind of trolling us. And he is one of the most masterful trolls I've ever seen. Now, I know we live in the era where people respect trolls. I do not. I respect Lil Nas X. I do. I respect him as a man. I respect him as an artist. I don't respect the art of trolling, but I think that if we're judging him by that metric, then he's one of the best trolls that we've ever seen. Because this is what I do appreciate about him. I do appreciate him challenging the church, and I do appreciate him challenging society and society's hypocrisy surrounding LGBT. I'm sorry, I've had a long night. The gay community's issues. I do appreciate the way in which I saw him on LeBron's show, the barbershop show.
Right.
And the way in which he challenged Kevin Hart. And I like Kevin Hart. And, you know, I support Kevin Hart. And I think Kevin Hart should host the Oscars. But I appreciate his role in social justice because I'm intersectional. I fight for Black people rights. I fight for poor people rights. I fight for women's rights. I fight for gay rights. And I think that Lil Nas X is needed. His energy is needed in the industry. I just wish he would not be called Nas. That's really it.
Now, you know, and we almost done, but I wanted you to hear this. Now, this guy, this is a video called Witchblades, right? Mm-hmm. You probably definitely haven't seen it. 227
you
million
know my
views.
Taste by now, I see.
Huh?
I feel like you know my taste by now, as you see.
Yeah, I do. I know, because I think we in the same. We like lyrics, but you know, right. but the song has 227 million views, and it was actually one that my wife brought my attention to. The lyrics right now, and it's still in the line of what we're saying, but I wanted you to hear this. It says, in school I was a loner. I was a reject, I was a poser. Multiple personalities, I'm bipolar. I swear I mean well, I'm still going to hell. Witchcraft, love chance, whisper in my ear, put me in a trance. Cocaine all night long. When I die, bury me all in my ice on. Witchcraft, love chance, and it goes on to kind of say the same thing. And what I'm now, this one is a little different because now we have, I need to say this another way. I'm trying to say this. We have the other community that's kind of coming into hip hop and bringing that element in, that kind of rock, devil worship. I'm trying to be careful, but we got their community that's kind of driving the bus harder even now into it. Are you seeing that on your side? Is it anything that you're?
I mean, I gotta be honest with you, bro. Like, what this artist? What's his name?
Lil Peep and Lil Tracy.
All right, how old are they?
They look to be around about 22, something like that.
Yeah, that's very young. They're very young. Are these Black dudes?
I was trying not to. They were white. They was white. One on white and one on black.
All right. Lil Peep is white, right? Is that what it is? Lil Peep is white? All right. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
I don't mean to profile.
You know, I don't mean no harm.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very honest with you. The Black church has been very vital to our communities. And anyone who is trying to follow the example of Jesus, if you're really trying to do it, not Christmas Jesus, not Buddy Jesus, you know, but the actual Jesus,
Black Jesus,
Black. I'm with you. I'm with all that. But I'll be completely honest. I don't get freaked out when I hear people talking about Satanism and when I hear people talk about witchcraft. For a couple of reasons. One, I mean, the devil was really in the details. You know what I'm saying? And when you hear artists, like whoever this 22-year-old artist who said these lyrics, from the lyrics you read, to me, I can tell that that's not a person who has a lot of information.
Yeah.
That's not a person who has a lot of experience. That's not a person who has a lot of knowledge about the world and how things work. That is a person who's trying to rebel against society. For whatever reason, society feels uncomfortable to that person. And to that, I relate to. Now, my response to it is not like, yeah, I'm going to worship the devil. Yeah, I'm a witch. I'm not going to do that. To me, I'll be honest, I am more worried about white supremacists and Proud Boys and Nazis than I am worried about Satanists and people who are talking about witchcraft and all that. Because even in those communities, and I'm just keeping it with this, we're having a factual conversation, right? Even in those communities, just from my studies and my knowledge, the way that they define witchcraft and the way that they define Satanism is not how the church defines it. And just like we all know people who are not Christians who are more Christians than people who can claim to be Christians.
Yeah.
Just we all know that. There are people who claim to be witches and warlocks who act more Christian than actual Christians. Those people exist.
Wow.
Those people exist. Now, to me, it all boils down to understanding what language we're talking and what game we're playing, you know? And would I ever do that or condone that or put that around me? No. I understand the power of words. I think regardless of what you think Satan is, what you think the devil is, what you think demonology is, what you think witchcraft is a little different. I'm going to separate witchcraft from all that stuff because witchcraft was very much demonized by patriarchy and the way they was burning women at the stakes, the way it was calling women witches and all that. A lot of the stuff surrounding witchcraft is really about shutting women down. So I got to even separate witchcraft from all the rest of it, right? But like a lot of it, to me, I wouldn't use that language because I think more like the Rastafarians. Like I try to overstand and I try to vibrate higher. I try to use language that puts me on a higher vibration. And the way in which God lives inside of me, I don't feel the need to rebel like that. I don't feel the need the way that I resist, when I resist society, I'm resisting white supremacist status quo and I'm resisting capitalism.
Yeah.
I'm not out here trying to make mom and dad, you know, like I'm not trying to be on some like, you know, teenage angst shit, like how excuse my language, like how a lot of these white kids be on it. Like a lot of those people that type of stuff comes from a place of privilege when you don't really have oppression to face. Which is why it's so weird when we hear it in the hip hop space. That's why we're so thrown off by it. Like, no, that's not what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that. But now you have, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much on music that I haven't heard.
Yeah.
But from the lyrics you read me, it sounds like just young kids trying to rebel and trying to be dangerous. And probably but I'm gonna tell you what, just my experience tells me the ones who go hard with that, they the ones who be the most Christian when they grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like look at the verses. Busy Bone was the main one. And this is I love Busy Bone. I love Bones, Thugs and Harmonies. Those are homies. But Busy Bone was the main one on that witchcraft Ouija board. He was the main one. And then when it come to the verses, he tried to make 3 6 Mafia swear off the devil. He was like, y'all gotta prove to me that y'all Christians. And when I saw him doing that, I was like, that's projection. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand that you feel a way about how you was presented when you was a young man. And now you grown older. So I think with those young, that's why I asked you how old they were. Because I think with those artists, you gotta sometimes, as older people, we gotta give them. And again, I'm biased. Your agenda might be slightly different from mine. We both on this agenda to uplift the people. We both on this anti-racist agenda, pro-black agenda, spiritual agenda, and we both have different missions. But you know, I tend to give the artists a lot more leeway to explore that side of themselves.
Yeah.
And then who they are. Let's see how they grow from that.
Yeah. Well, one thing about it, I'll say, you know, as far as our church and, you know, where we are, even in the whole subject is we not only want to bring awareness, but it's not for us to try to attack, right?
Right.
For us, it's about another way to draw those people that have gotten into those things out of those things. Even the word that my wife just previously preached, that this is not a war, it's a rescue. It's all about us trying to get people, first of all, to pay attention to what's going on, but at the same time, try to pull them out. And the one thing that I love about the way that you have laid out and spoken about it is that the church itself has to come to another level of love, right? To be able to embrace and to understand. And honestly, it helps us. I definitely know it helps me to hear it differently, right? To hear the song differently. Because when you first hear something, all you get is reaction. So you hear it, and it's the first reaction. It's not really a response. It's not thought of. There's no thought behind it. It's just what curls you or what hits you.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate you talking about it, and that is the way that we carry it. That is the way that we feel about it. You know, Lil Uzi, Nas X, Lil Peep, Lil Tracy, those ones in the lyrics that we did talk about, it's not in us trying to bash or to come against. It's us recognize what's being said, and what's really come out today is that there could be some mental illness there. There could be some hopelessness there. There could be some brokenness there. And this, as adults, we got to be able to hear it different. For some of us to pray different, right? To some of us, like yourself, that might be able to embrace, maybe to even touch them different. So we thank you for that. Clap your hands again for Talib Kweli.
I love and appreciate this opportunity to chop it up with y'all.
Just a couple more questions before we get out of here. And this is for writers, right? Because one of the reasons why I asked you here, because again, you are one of the most socially, politically educated brothers that's a lyricist, and the word and the writing and the music is important to you. Even when I was listening to Gotham,
appreciate that. Thank you.
I can tell listening to Gotham, when me and my wife was listening to it, I can tell that it's well thought out. So for some of the artists that's looking, because you know they are, when you write a song, how does that process look for you?
Every song is different. With Gotham in particular, I wanted to make an album that felt like old New York and felt like the hip hop I grew up on. The blueprint for that album was an actual album, Only Built for Cuban Link by Raekwon. And if you go back and listen to Gotham, I'm even borrowing some of the cadences and flows from Only Built for Cuban Link, and sort of just giving my spin on it. And then it was really to pay tribute to Diamond D, who's a legendary hip hop producer, Digging in the Craze crew, of course. And I just wanted to do a project that paid tribute to who that man was as a producer.
Wow. Come on, clap your hands for that.
Thank you.
Last question before we get out of here, brother. Any thoughts that you want to leave to this community? I know you spoke a lot, about social justice. I know you spoke a lot about, the place that the community needs to be, and some of the things that we need to be accountable for. Any last words for us to the community, to this community?
I just appreciate I love when people who represent the church do the liberation work. And that to me is one of the best parts of the Black community, and one of the things that has kept us safe, and one of the things that has progressed us forward. And, I was talking to you earlier about this audiobook I'm listening to right now, trying to read more, but I don't be having the time, and I'll be losing books. I can always have the audiobook on my phone, but I'm listening to this audiobook now, God of the Oppressed by James Cone. And James Cone is one of the leading people who writes about Black liberation theology. And I feel like what you're doing here with these type of talks in this situation is you are continuing the work of James Cone and people like him, and Reverend Barber and Reverend King, who we just celebrated. And to me, I love to see that, and I'm glad that you're doing that.
All right. All right, everybody, clap your hands for Talib Kweli.
Thank you, y'all. I love and appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me.
Listen, bro, you already know that you got this community over here. We're going to be listening to your music. We thank you. We appreciate you again, and we honor you, all right? All right, one more time.
Thank you. Good night, y'all.
All right, blessing, peace, and blessings.
Bless.
Everybody standing. Come on, clap your hands again. Wasn't that awesome? For some of you that are online, I need you to tag, I need you to click, I need you to tag, I need you to share this. Share this with the information. It's just good information. That brother, and it was just the way that he gave it and the way that we spoke earlier. And for me, I don't know about you, it was great. It was just great information, and it gave us another way to see, and as a church, another way to pray, right? You that are online, we appreciate you. We thank you. Again, we want you to share this. This is just the beginning of greater things to come. We're getting ready to leave this place. I always want to exalt God and give God praise. Could you do that? Could you clap your hands? Clap your hands for my lovely wife, UCI. Amen. Amen. Let's get ready to go. Father, we thank you. We bless you, God, and we glorify you for everything that you have done and you will do. We lift up Lil Uzi. We lift up Lil Uzi. We lift up Nas X. We lift up those young men. We're so thankful for you, God, being in the midst. We're thankful for the lives that will be turned around. We thank you for the people that were affected by what was said tonight. And we bless you and we glorify you for it. All right. We need y'all to tomorrow night, we have our prophetic prelude tomorrow night. Clap your hands. So meet us back here tomorrow night at 7. God bless you.
Some entitled niggas kept it funky from the start, always 100 with them, sharing my heart with them, sharing my life with them, sharing my vision with them. Why they acting so forgetful, dismissing everything I ever did for you? Believe the rumor from a liar, what they did for you. I was 100 proof flame like expensive vodka, drunk with wisdom that I gained, kept your heart solid. You can never say I played, I was never rocking. I guess that Judas kiss was sweet, now my voice foreign. I really thought they had me, real talk. Circuit up just to blast.